Good morning, Year 6. It is Wednesday the 10th of June. So today we are dividing fractions by integers. So our first anchor question is finding the value of the shaded part. So we have a bar model with 5 sections and our total is 600 for the 5 sections. We only need to find the value for the 4. To start with, we take our total and we divide by how many parts we have. So 600 divided by 5 equals 120. So each part is 120. So we need to know what 4 parts are, because that's how many parts are shaded. So you could either do 4 times 120 or 600 take away 120, which equals 480. So these 4 parts are 480. Looking at the next anchor question, we have again the total of 248, but this time we're split into 8 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 248 divided by 8 equals 31. So each part is 31. So you can see here we have got the parts 31. Let's get 2 more. But we only need 3, okay, for the shaded parts here. So 3 lots of 31 is 93. We're now looking at this question. So a forest has 336 trees. 5/8 of the trees are oak trees. How many of the trees are not oak trees? So importantly, we're looking at the word not. Okay, that's our important word there, not. And we can then work it backwards. So our denominator is 8. So 336 divided by 8 equals 42. So 1/8, if I have 1/8 equals 42. Okay, but we don't want 5/8, we need 3/8 because we're looking at not oak trees. So 3/8, so 3 lots of 42. So 3 lots of 42, so 40, 80, 120. Add the 3 lots of 2, 126. So how many are not oak trees? 126. So today we're going to have a look at the Learning by Questions video that will help you with your work.
Hello there and welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at dividing fractions by integers, which remember that integer word means whole numbers. And at White Rose Maths, we're all about sharing, so we're going to do a bit of sharing to start us off. So here we go. We've got 2 donuts, and we're going to share them equally between 2 children. So, how many donuts will each child receive? Well, hopefully, if you're fair, like me, you'd give them 1 donut each. What about 4 cookies? How many would each person receive if we're sharing them equally? Well, they each get 2. What was if I had 2 quarters to share? How many would each person get? Well, hopefully you recognise that each person would get a quarter. Let's record what we just did. We had 2 quarters, and I divided them into 2 people. So 2 quarters divided by 2 was 1 quarter. Okay, we've got 2 thirds, 2 quarters, we already did that one, and 2 fifths divided by 2. Have a think for yourself then. How could I share these fractions between 2 people, or just into 2 parts? Let's have a look. Well, 2 thirds into 2 would be 1/3. I can see how I could split that 2 thirds into 2 parts. What about 2 fifths? Well, 2 fifths divided by 2 would be 1/5. What about these 2 then? 4 fifths divided by 2 and 4 fifths divided by 4. Have a think for yourself first if you'd like to. Okay, let's have a look. 4 fifths divided by 2. How can I split that into 2 equal parts? Well, I could just right down the middle. 4 fifths divided by 2 would be 2 fifths. I wonder if any of you have started to notice any patterns. 4/5 divided by 4. Can I visualise splitting that into 4 parts? Oh, that's easy. 4/5 divided by 4 would be 1/5. Something for you to have to think about now. Pause the video, have a go. If it would help you, feel free to draw a bar model to help. Let's have a look then. Well, 6/9 divided by 2. Well, I know what 6 bananas divided by 2 would be. There'd be 3 bananas. So 6/9 divided by 2 would be 3/9. 9/10 divided by 3 is 3/10. 4/7 divided by 2 would be 2/7. What about this next one? 12/15 divided by something is 2/15. What do I divide 12 by to give 2? Well, that would be 6. 12/15 divided by 6 is 2/15. The next one, I divide by 2. And this next one, I'm not given the numerator, but something 16ths divided by 5 is 3/16. Well, 5 times smaller than 15/16 would be 3/16. Bit of thinking now. I've got a bar model here of 1/4. How could I use that to help me solve 1/4 divided by 2? Pause the video, have a think for yourself first. Let's have a look. Here's 1/4. Divide by 2. Remember, we thought about divide by 2 as being into 2 parts. Let's split it into 2 parts. And I want 1 of those 2 parts. But remember, I would have to do the same to every quarter. Otherwise, the parts aren't equal. Well, I want 1 of those 2 parts. So what fraction is in yellow? Well, of the whole, it would be 1/8. So 1/4 divided by 2 would be 1/8. You could also think about it as what would be half of 1/4. So what's to think about now? You can have a pause of the video now if you'd like to try these for yourself first. Okay, let's have a look at 1/4 divided by 3. So that means I'm splitting one of the quarters into 3 parts. So let's do that. So we'll do the same to the other quarters, so we can work out what fraction that is of the whole. And remember, I want 1 of those 3 parts, because I split it into 3, so I want 1 of those parts. So the fraction would be 1/12. What about the next one? Remember, divide by 4, 4 parts. So divide that quarter into 4 parts, and again, repeat the process for the other quarters. So of the whole, I want 1 of the parts, which is 1/16. And then, for the last one, 5 parts. I want this one. So if each quarter has been put into 5 parts, there would be 20 parts in total, which is 1/20. What about this one? 4/5 divided by 3. Pause the video, have a think for yourself first. Let's have a look then. Well, if it was 1/5 divided by 3, that's quite straightforward. I can split that into 3 parts. But let's repeat the process for every 5th. So for every 5th, I'm splitting it into 3 parts, and I want 1 of those parts. So I can see in total I've got 4 parts out of 15, which is 4/15. So 4/15 is 3 times smaller than 4/5. I wonder if you've noticed anything. Think of the relationship between the denominator and the divisor. We're dividing by 3. So what fraction is 3 times smaller than 4/5? Well, it will be 4/15. Pause the video, see if you can solve these. Let's have a look at the first one. 2/5 divided by 3 will be 2/15. In my head, I'm almost multiplying that denominator by 3, which makes it 3 times smaller. Right, next one. 2/5 divided by 4. Again, I want it 4 times smaller. So 4 times smaller than 2/5 would be 2/20. This time I'm not given the divisor. I can see, though, that the relationship between 5 and 25 will be 5 times smaller. So it will be divided by 5. And for this one, the denominator we're not given. But if I divide it by 10, it's getting 10 times smaller. So in that case, it would be 2/5 divided by 10 would be 2/50. Now it's your turn. Have a go at the worksheet if you have it, but don't worry if you haven't. There's material you can get on the BBC Bite Size website.
Okay, having a look at the rest of the work. So this is your sheet today. Remember, also log on to Learning by Questions. The joining code will be on the website daily. Good luck